don't have time, global audience that's tuning in. I am here with Joi Chevalier, and she is the CEO and founder of Cook's Nooks. So thank you so much for taking a moment to chat with me.
Guys. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Tell me a little bit about who you are, what your work is, and Cook's Nooks for sure.
Sure. So I'm a longstanding Austinite, and I spent a lot of time, almost 20 years as a technologist, running very large global programs and traveling. And then, I got to the point, as many people do in their career, where they sort of decide, yeah, I can keep doing this, or I can try to figure out what it is I really need to be doing. And I used to have a saying, which was, we are not putting shoes on children, we are not curing cancer, and we're not feeding our homeless. And, you say that, especially in technology, to kind of get people to calm down, because people can get very excited about technology in meetings. Excited is a word.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. And I used to say that to try to ground people. And then it was just that one day where I was saying, I'm not curing cancer, we're not. And then I stopped myself. And I went, well, why am I not doing these things? Why am I not feeding our homeless and our unhoused and others? And yeah, I decided to take the skills that I had as a product strategist and developing products and getting launches out the door and create the Cook's Nook. And what is the Cook's Nook? It is a culinary incubator. We work with entrepreneurs and gave them a space to come in and create products with business services and things to sort of help them out, knowing how to do product management, product marketing, and launching. And that's what we did. And I think what more people know us for these days is at the beginning of COVID, very early, while I was actually sick with COVID, that February of 2020, sort of realized that there was going to be a gap in this sort of in food and food access. And so I developed not, what many of your food banks here in the U.S. Do is they offer what we call shelf-stable boxes of food, flour, pasta, things that someone has to cook. And I said, yeah, but we don't have a prepared meals program. How do we do that affordably, high nutrition, knowing it may be the only meal of the day that someone's going to get?
Right.
And that's how that side was born. And we do on average of anywhere 10 to 14,000 meals a week. At our height, we were doing 15,000 a week.
Incredible.
Yeah, and they were being distributed across our Austin-Travis County area. And we're still going. We've turned that into a full-fledged food services group and team with 21 employees.
Amazing.
And really working to not just sort of do that under emergency, but how do we really strategically have a company that can provide high-quality, nutrition, dense meals at affordable costs, whether it be in Medicare, Medicaid, retail, in our public sectors like with the county, the city, and nonprofits and foundations. So that's what we do. That's what we're doing.
So you realized when you were saying we're not curing cancer, we're not helping actually everything you're doing is very much in that list. So why is this important, and why does it belong on that list?
Well, it belongs on the list because we know that there are these what we call social determinants of health. They're the things that make a household healthy. Food is one of those things, right? There's also transportation as a part of that, your direct health care. But we know that education's one of those. But we know that people can't do those things unless they're satisfied, unless their feelings of hunger and their nutritional needs are being met. And that's why it's so critical. And we've created this structure by which, we allow nonprofits to try to do this work, unfunded, underfunded. And part of that is to say, no, there's a place for government, your nonprofits, and a for-profit business, private business like ours, to really actually do this work. And so that's what we're really trying to do.
So you're communicating what you're doing right now to our global audience. And we say that communication is climate action. What you're doing is, because food insecurity, accessibility, it's a ripple impact of climate change. And it should be part of the climate change narrative. So you having this conversation with us is allowing us to communicate that. We need more of that, because this is climate action that you're taking by communicating.
It absolutely is. And, I didn't sort of think of that at first. It wasn't until a little bit into, especially the food services side, where we sort of realized, well, who are we accessing? It's not just about accessing the supply chain and regular food. It's also about accessing our farms, our farmers, for those locally, because it's a huge circle, right? It allows them to grow things in the way they need when they know they have an audience to be able to provide that to. It lets us buy, purchase, and use our economic power locally, right, to the benefit of others who are around us. And the idea is that we're creating a win-win scenario here for everybody. You know, our partners know exactly what we're going to ask week to week to week, right?
So how do you now go beyond this communication and the great work that you are doing internally and in your society, of course, in your communities, to inspire climate action more broadly?
Well, I'm always going to come back to the conversation around land use and land development, and having healthy product comes from healthy farmers and healthy soil, and understanding what your advantages and limitations are. What is the economic access that people have to that land to be able to create these systems and models, and how do they do it under whatever circumstances those might be? Why do we have to make it more difficult for them when we're not paying attention to climate change, right? And I have to know their pains to know how this is going to work, how we're going to partner together, how I take them to market with me, right? Which means I have to understand, and that the climate concerns become sort of this, like you said, this part of what we consider about our products, about our food, how we get them, and how the business is run.
Amazing. Last question for you.
Yeah.
So we, on our platform, like to give climate love to companies that are doing a really good job.
Okay.
So we would definitely want to give you some climate love. But we'll ask you, who would you like to give climate love to? Who do you want to shout out for doing really good climate action and getting it out there, communicating their good work?
I will tell you. They're here today. That is FarmShare. That is Andrea Abel, who is the executive director in FarmShare, who is bringing up the next level and the next generation of farmers, and not just farmers, but the business of farming and the climate effects, or the effects of climate on farming. That is all part of their program that they have to have these young people learn about. Yeah. So
awesome.
Always in the car for FarmShare.
Thank you. We'll send them some climate love too.
Thank you.
You rock, Joy. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank y'all.